Hi.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, the show where we all write our own story about democracy. And I come to you live from Crater Valley on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday. Toothful Thursday, because I had to go to the dentist earlier today, which was really exciting. And yay, dentist. Well, not really. It was almost like a torture session because they had those things in your mouth that pull your lips apart, and they put the thing to depress your tongue, and they're drying everything out while they're scraping around. Like, oh my god. But anyway, it's got one more round of that, and I should be done for a while. But that was my day. How about yours? And who's joining me on this beautiful Thursday evening? Abdicast Diaboli, hello. Walter Tomaszewski, hello. Good afternoon, Scribe. Living on the moon must mean you can get an excellent earth tan. Har har. Careful of overdoing it, or you'll get an earth burn. I hadn't thought of it in those terms before. Thank you, Walter. Adabisi, good evening. Who else is here? Kieverdam, hello, and thank you, Kieverdam, as always, for providing the link to our friend Angela Arriaga's home-based business GoFundMe, guys. That's pinned to the top of the chat box. Take a look at that when you have the opportunity. If you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Kieverdam, as always, for providing the link. The Alexander, good evening. Adam Nixon, hello. Carol Soldier, hello. Mike R., good evening. Who else is here? The Best Remy, hello. Robert Pincus, hello. Found, it's been a while. I have noticed I have not said your name in a while. Hope everything's going all right. Good evening. I've missed this. Well, only because your aim was off. You see what I did there? Yeah, that's a joke. But anyway, nice to see you. Derek LaRue. Holy cats. Derek, thank you so much, as always, for your continued support and generosity. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good evening and hope you enjoy the show. Golly gee, haven't seen you in a while either. Hope everything's doing all right. The Blakester, hello. Miranda Stone is here, guys. I don't know if you know about Miranda Stone, but let me tell you. Tony Giff, hello. Strange title, but let's go. Well, it is a strange title, and that's kind of what drew me to it. Unintentionally, this has turned into Inclusivity Month. Because last week's show was about inclusion, and this week's show is about inclusion. I might make it a pattern just for the sake of July. Make July Inclusion Month. At least this year. So if I come across a interesting looking talk that has the word inclusion in it between now and next week, maybe I'll do another one. I guess we'll find out together. Also, O1 Portnoy is here. Hello, O1 Portnoy. But yes, tonight's subject matter: how inclusive storytelling can help us reimagine democracy. Well, obviously the word inclusion caught my eye. Reimagining democracy almost always makes me think, communism. We're going to be told, democracy is broken. It needs to be reimagined as something more collectivist. Something like that. That's my guess. I could be mistaken. I'm happy to be mistaken. The Luke Skywalker too, good evening. And Morgan King, hello. And I hope that is everybody. If I missed you, if you're lurking, if you're in the future, like JPS, do let me know in the chat or in the comments below after the fact. I had a question for you guys. I don't monetize these things, at least when they're live, and oftentimes I don't monetize them after I've posted them or after they're completed. Mainly because having ads show up in the middle of trying to do a TEDx talk seems kind of inconvenient. I'm assuming that's the case. If you guys don't mind that possibility, I could try monetizing these things before I broadcast. Do you care? Maybe? I'd put up a poll, but I don't know that can I put up a poll? I can put up a poll. Okay. Here, I'll just put a poll. Ads during live broadcast question mark. And I'll just leave that up there for the duration of the show. And we'll see what the results are at the end. Because I know other people start drifting in at the later times. Also, internet's favorite lunatic, Luna, hello. And did I already say hello to Tony Giff? Well, Tony Giff, if I already did, hello again. And Alan Thyler, hello. Let's see, AdBC. Usually adverts come up at the very start. So long as you talk for like 30 seconds, you're good. Yeah, I try to put like a few seconds in with the FBI logo thing, and then the intro happens with the TEDx song, and then... So I think I buffer it with enough lag for that, if you don't care about listening to the TEDx intro song every time. Bridget, hello. And, okay. Kilauren Roberts. Don't broadcast ads, go more to the creator. As far as I know, the ads are still like a... Actually, I don't know what the AdSense split is. I know that the super chats are 70-30 to the YouTuber, and the 30 going to YouTube. For AdSense, I don't honestly know what the split is. So... And did I say that right, Kilauren? Let me know if I said that correctly. I don't know, or pronounced it correctly, I should say. Read by nature. Hello. All right, so guys, tonight's bingo card is bingo card C. C as in Homer. Not Simpson, the classical sort of Greek poet guy. Greek, right? Yeah. But that was on the bingo card poll that was over on the X machine. So if you guys want to take part in the poll every week, and also follow my exploits on X, my exploits, just follow me over there at scribe_light. And yeah, so get your bingo card C's ready. Links are in the description. And with that, we'll start off with a few seconds for a sound test. This one runs just under 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, a little less than that because I'm jumping ahead of the musical cue. And yeah, let's find out how we can reimagine democracy with inclusive storytelling. You guys hear that okay? Also, it's not quite as extreme, but our speaker's outfit reminds me of David Byrne and Stop Making Sense. His jacket is just a bit too big. Alan Thyler, thank you so much for the happy, smiley, lovely dog cat fox. Oh, dog cat.
Wowee! Wow! Wow!
Ooh, there's a drunken uncle dog cat fox. Thank you so much, Alan. Appreciate it. And Daryl Odell is here. Let's see. The double L after the I has more of an A sound. The double L after the I. Karen? Double L after the A. Karen? I don't know. I don't want to call you a Karen. Can you give me the phonetics? I know I'm asking a lot, I'm not trying to be facetious. I honestly want to understand how to pronounce these things. Just to ask Walter Tomaszewski. You know, I was very proud of myself that I pronounced his name right on the first try. Okay, here we go. Kilauren Roberts. All right. I will endeavor to make that how I say it, Kilauren. And do let me know if I stumble. I like learning how to pronounce new names. Roll the L. Kilauren. He-Man. It's me. No, I can't do that. Anyway, yeah, so Big Jacket Guy, what do you have to say?
I want to start by telling you a secret.
Well, don't make me stop you. Well, here's the thing, though. As soon as you open your mouth, it's no longer a secret.
When I was a little boy growing up in Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, childhood or family anecdote right off the bat, guys. Get out your bingo cards and let us circle childhood or family anecdote. I just got to pick my circle and my green and make sure that it's the line there. Okay, childhood or family anecdote, circling that one. Also circling free space because it's free. I'll go over the bingo card again in a moment.
I dreamed of being a pop star.
Okay.
I would stand in the middle of the bathroom, right in front of the mirror, holding a hairbrush, pretending that I was in the middle of my sold-out world tour.
Okay. And what kind of music did you sing?
At the very least, I wanted to be the 7th member of Rebelde or the 6th Backstreet Boy. The one that gets to stand at the end and doesn't have to do very much, but still gets to be part of the group.
Oh, isn't that cute? Yeah, okay. Anyway, going over to the bingo card. This is what we're listening for, everybody. For those of you listening at home, well, you'll just have to listen along. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I assume with the title, that word or words there to the effect will be spoken soon, but we'll see. Word salad, mind reading or assumes motives, a list. Remember, that's to be an official list of a kind. Marginalized or marginalization, patriarchy, contradicts own point or fails to make argument, feminism, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, systemic or institutional, anecdote that probably never happened, white supremacy, leaves out vital context, weightless example or non sequitur, sales pitch for product or service, privilege, collectivizes own demographic, self-vilification or wretchedness, economic disparity, benevolent condescension, plays victim, deceptive statistics, and lastly, microaggressions or unconscious bias. And again, that has to be a part of their presentation, not that we suspect the speaker possesses those things themselves. So far on the board, we have free space and childhood or family anecdote. Let's keep going.
But when I realized that my level of talent didn't quite match even this level of ambition, I set my sights on a new dream, a plan B, if you will.
Does it have anything to do with fashion?
I was going to be the president of Colombia.
Go for it.
And I felt called to become the president of Colombia because of what I had witnessed growing up. Every night, just as dinner was about to be ready, my grandmother would yell from across her apartment very loudly, "Vengan, vamos a ver a cuánta gente mataron hoy."
I was told there'd be no Spanish chest.
Come over, let's see how many people were killed today.
Oh, boy. Are you going to go all depressing now? I wanted something uplifting.
That was her way of calling the family into her bedroom so that we would huddle around the TV and watch the evening news.
That's sad.
Her words, the same every single day, and the images of violence that were affecting my country had a very powerful impact on me.
Your grandmother sounds like a sadist.
They were my introduction to the story of democracy.
Okay, all right, no, all right. All right. Give him some room here. How do you get from the death tolls in Colombia to the story of democracy?
Of a democracy that was failing its people.
Okay, I will confess. I am not an expert in either Colombian history or politics. But has Colombia been anything other than a democracy in name only for any period of time? I'm asking sincerely. I don't know, but my sort of like abstract sense of Colombia as a democracy, that's not the first word that would come to my mind, but I don't know.
But even as a little boy, I knew that a different story had to be possible. I just believed that the limitations of our present do not define the possibilities of our future.
That's very true. We only limit our possibilities, or, Mother Nature, depending.
But as I grew older and I came to terms with my queer identity.
And that has what to do with what?
I realized that even that dream seemed like one that I was not entitled to.
Tell me how these things are connected?
I did not see myself represented in popular culture.
Why would you see yourself represented in popular culture? Oh, are you a narcissist?
I did not see myself represented in the politicians at that time.
You're as represented in the politicians, I suppose, in the fact that they are voted into office, though I can't speak to the process in Colombia. Representation in politics is different than aesthetics that you're looking for.
And the stories that were told to me implicitly and explicitly made me believe that I had a choice to make between living my life authentically or serving my country.
Again, not being all that well aware of the culture of Colombia, I'm not quite ready to circle plays victim yet because I don't know what happens or has happened in the past to openly gay individuals in Colombia. So that might not be some sort of pity party there.
And then that brought to me a realization, a turning point, if you will.
You realized that you were self-centered and concerned about things that were irrelevant to your own personal self-esteem, unless, of course, you're a narcissist, maybe.
Where I realized that the story of democracy was being written purposefully to exclude me.
Wow. Okay, again, the entire world is circling around him. All right, well, circling plays victim. Right there. Everybody, the entire world is aligned against him. Democracy is aligned against him. Colombian democracy is aligned against him.
And to exclude many of us.
I thought it was just to exclude you.
And the reason for that is because democracy has been built on a foundation of systems of exclusion.
Wait. You open up this talk. For those of you listening at home, he's got a picture up on the screen now that shows a representation of the Constitution stacked on top of it, various federal buildings, and they're all crumbling and falling apart and such. You talk about the decidedly fractured, I'll be generous, fractured democracy of Colombia, and then you immediately bring up images of American democracy as what? It's equal? Democracy is built on systems of exclusion. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean. If you mean like excluding lawbreakers, hopefully, kind of, sort of, Epstein files. Okay. What do you mean? I have to take a step back here. I'm jumping into my own conclusions here. Okay, what systems of inclusion? Also, I'll encircle systemic or institutional, because that's where we're at now. What systems actively exclude people in an unjust fashion, in your opinion?
From patriarchy to
patriarchy! Oh my God! Okay, on the board. Patriarchy. Holy cow, guys. So just to remind, we got patriarchy, we have systemic or institutional, we have free space, childhood or family anecdote, and plays victim. There may be others. Okay, so patriarchy, let me back up a little bit. He's about to say something else.
of exclusion.
Right, exclusion.
From patriarchy to colonialism to slavery.
Patriarchy, colonialism, and slavery. Okay, well, the slavery part isn't in here anymore, and that's not inherently part of democracy. You know why? Because if slavery were an inherent part of democracy, well, then how has Britain survived all these years without slavery? How has America survived with all these years? And I understand America is not a democracy; it's a representational or constitutional republic. Constitutional republic, but we operate on democratic systems-ish. But still, colonialism. Okay, going from one place to another place and taking over the land. Okay? That's just the movement of all nations. You talk about it like it's an inherently evil thing. It's actually a fairly ambiguous thing, but also a natural movement of nations. But patriarchy. Oh yeah, okay. Well, That damn patriarchy.
The we in we the people has never actually meant all of us.
Never? What, never? No, never. Okay, well then why don't you go back to the much more, I guess, perfect democracy of Colombia? Because when you say we the people, I'm assuming you're talking about the United States. Okay, anyway, how do you want to fix this problem?
And so if we want a different future, we need a different story.
By all means, how do you propose to fix the problem of American democracy?
Because stories matter.
Okay.
Storytelling is the way that we go about making meaning of the world around us.
Or by weaving lies and mistruths. It all depends on the context, but
It is one of those things that actually makes us human.
Could be.
As Rashad Robinson, the president of Color of Change, says so well, stories set the floor for what is acceptable and the ceiling for what is possible.
Well, whose stories are allowed to be told? Color of Change. I think I've heard of that before.
And so at a critical moment when we're in the year of democracy or the year of elections.
The year of democracy or the year of elections? Maybe this took place last year.
When the future of democracy and the future of our planet is at stake.
The future of our... When did this take place? Sorry, did they put up a date earlier? Let me just make sure. 354 is where we're at. Okay, did they put up a... TEDx, Mid-Atlantic, Felipe Estefan. They didn't give us a date, did they? I don't think so. Okay, so I don't know when this was originally recorded. I'm going to guess it was last year, if he's talking about year of elections.
And so at a critical moment when we're in the year of democracy or the year of elections, when the future of democracy and the future of our planet is at stake, we need to build better stories where we all belong.
Okay. Again, I'll give you plenty of room. Tell me what problems need to be solved specifically, and how stories will solve these problems.
But as storytellers, fantastic storytellers from all around the world are trying to do that, they're met with an entertainment industry where they do not receive the support necessary to produce the films, the TV shows, and the digital content that will actually expand our horizons.
Whoa, okay, we're going all over the place. So first we're talking about democracy in Colombia. Then we're talking about democracy as an idea is imperfect. Now we're into access in the entertainment industry. Plus we had some side quest about his queer identity. Boy, we're only 4 minutes into this thing. Where could we possibly go next?
In the story of us, the stories from the most marginalized communities.
Marginalized, oh boy, marginalization, circling that one on the board. Right, to the marginalized communities. Okay.
Are severely underrepresented and underfunded.
You are
and so what we're left with is
wait. I hit the pause button, but nothing happened. Okay, you are 100% wrong. 100% wrong. There has been nothing but millions, if not billions of dollars over the last 10 years alone just dumped into modern messaging and queer stories and stories based on the color of people's skin. You had strong black lead over at Netflix. You've had initiatives in companies through DEI for years and years and years and years and years. Entertainment companies, digital media companies, and elsewise. You're telling stories out of school, as they say. That's nonsense. 100% absolute nonsense. Thank you, Attribution. This guy's seen the bingo card. He's trying to win. That would be something. I would love for that to be the case. I would love to have seeped into the TEDx culture enough that somebody actually tries to hit all the branches on the way down the tree. That'd be great. Shadowcat asked the EU how Dustborn did. Well, I think Dustborn was more, was that Norwegian? I think that was backed by Norway more than anything else, because Andre over at Midnight's Edge did a big thing on that, because I think it was his country that put the most money into that. But no, it's a fair argument. Yeah, look at every game, every movie, every TV show. Bros. Remember Bros? If you don't remember Bros, there's a reason. Right? This is, okay, his claim is utter and absolute nonsense. Utter and absolute nonsense. Okay. We'll still listen, but he's making a claim that has absolutely no foundation whatsoever to it. Now, the only exception I will extend is if he is talking globally. Okay? Because there certainly are a whole lot of countries out there, regimes and elsewise, that have absolutely no interest in putting any effort towards telling stories or allowing storytellers of particular types any freedom whatsoever. But this is where we're getting confused, because he implicates the United States, but also talking about globally, talking about Colombia. So I'm not quite sure where his complaint exactly rests, but I am curious to know what he proposes to do to solve it. Because if he's talking about democracy, then he's excluding, if you can believe it, a whole swath of nations on this planet from the conversation, which is fine if that's what he means to do.
Underfunded.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to back up a little. Underfunded. Well, how many more billions would you like?
Marginalized communities are severely underrepresented and underfunded. And so what we're left with is a broken story.
Okay. If you had made this TEDx 15 years ago, you might have had a shot. But you didn't, so no.
A story of us that does not actually include all of us. And that no longer serves in building a shared purpose.
All right. Like I say, you set it up. Now make your pitch.
And unfortunately, technology is making that worse.
Tell me that AI is doing something nefarious to keep down the voices of marginalized communities.
We were told that social media was going to connect us.
It has, for better and often for worse.
And instead, it has divided us far more than it has united us.
It has done so, or people have just done so as a natural course of birds of a feather flock together. I don't know. I don't think you can blame social media for doing so. I mean, unless there's an algorithm that's preventing me from seeing other points of view. Otherwise, I guess it's possible. I mean, I follow and am subscribed to a whole bunch of people that, in general terms, I don't often agree with, just to make sure that I, get a variety of information from different sources. Do you know I don't follow Fox News on Twitter? I can't. Actually, the last time I ever watched Fox News was visiting my parents. I also don't watch CNN. But I do follow CNN. It's very, very bizarre.
Algorithms are pushing out to us hate speech, extremism, and disinformation.
Oh my God. And what happens? What happens when somebody says something that makes you feel bad? What happens? Is it like saying Muad'Dib and you suddenly disintegrate? Or can you just ignore it? Or just don't look at it? You can also turn off social media, You could just not engage.
And we all know it. You know it. You see it every single day.
Okay, mind reading assumes motives. You know it. You see it every single day. Okay, well, I mean, if you say so.
You see it when you go to a family gathering and you're sitting across the table and all of a sudden you're debating with a loved one over a conspiracy theory.
A conspiracy theory? A conspiracy theory, like what kind of conspiracy theory? Because, at least 70% of things that 5 years ago I was told were all conspiracy theories have proven themselves to be at least mostly true or absolutely true. So, you want to get a little deeper into that?
No, Aunt Betty, your children are not being groomed by the deep state from the basement of a pizzeria called Comet Ping Pong. They're busy making pizzas. But unfortunately, the negative impact of social media goes far beyond making a couple of family gatherings awkward.
Wait. What is this, TEDx potpourri? We start off with faltering democracy in Colombia, the inherent dangers and failures of democracy as a concept, a lack of representation in entertainment for marginalized communities, and now the failings of social media in conspiracy theories and hate speech. Is this like every single TEDx mashed into one?
Social media is actually pushing out stories that make us believe that we should hate ourselves and that we should hate one another.
Okay. I have a crazy idea. All right. Now, you will not find me saying that social media is a golden entity that can do no wrong. Writ large. Social media is such an amorphous concept in the first place. But media writ large. You're right. Okay. Yeah. You're never, ever going to find a media that makes you 100% happy. You're not. You're just not. And social media? It's never going to happen. Your only way out is to disengage. If you are this worked up about it, your only way out is to disengage. Be the change you want to see. Just turn it off. Don't pay attention. Live your life. And that's all you have to do. But if you want to engage, you're going to be wading through a swamp. And it all depends on how you use it, too. If you only follow 2 channels or something, then you can ignore everything else. I cannot tell you how many things come up in the news lately where it's like, this person just got fired from this television show. And I go to myself and I say, self, I've never heard of that show. I don't know who that person is. Even though this show apparently has had like 7 seasons and this person has been acting for 20 years. I'm like, no idea. Because I don't focus on everything all at once and some things don't matter to me. Just pick your lane and stay where you're comfortable. Or go outside of it. It's up to you. But okay, I'm getting off track again. That's my failing. Okay. Of all the things that you have brought up so far, in this litany of complaints about every aspect of your life or personal history, what do you propose be done to solve this, and how do you propose to do it through storytelling? Or is this just a demand for more money so you can make your student film?
Just take the example of Molly Russell.
Molly Russell, okay.
A British teenager who was so inundated with self-harm content that she actually died by suicide at the age of 14.
Okay. And we just had a similar story from the Save a Fox YouTube channel and Michaela and all that fun stuff. Yes, there are tragic stories of people who have been very susceptible to criticism and didn't have the help that they needed. Why are you using this poor girl's story in your talk about democracy, queer representation, media investment, and now the evils of social... Okay. I'm getting close to hitting the WTF button because I'm hoping that this is all going to come tied together at some point.
She was just a teenager.
Yes.
Who wasn't even safe in her own bedroom.
Well, okay, I'm sure the story is a bit more complicated than that. But, okay, anyway, thank you, Frosted Glass. Conspiracy theories, like a global patriarchy? Now, Frosted Glass, let's not point out the speaker's own hypocrisy. Just don't. It's not, we'd be here all day. We would be here all day. I don't particularly feel right about our speaker using the tragic story of a troubled teenager to try to make a point, and I'm not even quite sure what point he's trying to make. So, now, my English major persuasive essay brain is saying, okay, now that you've brought that up, now that you've dropped that bomb, I would assume, and I know what happens when we assume, but I would assume then that from that you would follow up with, here's how we can prevent such things happening in the future with inclusive storytelling. We still haven't gotten to any offering of solution for your list of problems. But now that you've used the life of a teenager, you better have something good. I'm telling you.
Her father, Ian Russell, who is now an activist,
Yeah.
says that very little has been done since the years of Molly's passing
Okay.
to change the algorithms that actually prompted her tragic death.
What? Okay. The algorithms prompted her death. Okay, you know what? I am wary of wading into this because while I believe I have heard that name before, now that they gave it some context, I don't know the story. But okay, I'm gonna stop myself there because there's a reflex response in me, and maybe this is just my cynicism. So disclaimer ahead of time. I do not know all the details of this story, but there is a reflex response in me to something like this. And it may be unfair, but where were the parents? Why were the parents not monitoring what their kid was doing or involved with? Because these things do not happen in a vacuum. But to say that the algorithms did this, I don't want to say someone is passing the buck. At the same time, I'm sure it's more complicated than this is implying. All the same, setting aside whatever my personal biases are or reflexes on this, what does this have to do with your presentation, and or what are you about to offer us, I would hope, as some sort of solution?
And those same negative impacts are felt most strongly by the most marginalized communities in society.
Oh, what marginalized community did she belong to? Because now it sounds like you're going to associate your problems with those of a troubled, now dead teenager.
Since October of 2022, we have seen an increase of 119% on tweets that seek to demonize the LGBTQIA+ community.
Okay, deceptive statistics, circling that one, that's easy. If you mean like pushing back against insane activism that falls underneath the LGBTQIA+ umbrella, like, I don't know, gender surgery for children, or trying to push sexually embedded materials into elementary schools and things like that. Yeah, no, there's been a lot of pushback on absolutely insane activism. But whatever.
They're branding us as the other.
No, insane activists are dropping poison into people's perception of all of the demographics that you would say you are a part of all at once. There's a big difference here. But anyway.
And the impacts of that are very real. Our community, particularly trans youth of color,
Colombian democracy, queer identity, United States democracy, representation in media, social media, teen suicide. Okay. What? Come on. Okay, what's going to come next? What's going to come next? Can I get a Donald Trump? I mean, I know it's low-hanging fruit, but can we at least get one Donald Trump somewhere in here?
are being harassed, are being threatened, and are being murdered.
Harassed, threatened, and murdered.
And just like our families are suffering and our communities are suffering, so are our democracies.
Oh, well, thank you for bringing it back around. So how do you propose to solve for these problems?
We've all seen the images of the January 6th insurrection here in the Capitol.
I was close. Damn it. I was going to say January 6th, but I thought, nah, how about Trump? Oh, man, I could have had a psychic moment just then. Oh, man.
And images like this one of the January 8th coup attempts in Brasilia.
The January 8th coup attempts in Brasilia. Because obviously these were two of the same things.
Those are scenes that evoke horror movies. Horror movies only made possible by algorithms that spread polarization and disinformation.
Okay, so wait. January 6th was the result of algorithms. The coup in Brazil, or the attempted coup, was a result of algorithms. Boy, gosh, we're done, guys. We're cooked. The algorithms have us. There's no personal choice. There's no personal responsibility. It's not a matter of economics or politics. No, it's the algorithms, guys. If it weren't for the algorithms, no one would do a bad thing ever. Okay. All right. You know what? Fine. For the sake of argument, the algorithms have done this. What do you propose be done? We are now at the halfway point, or just about the halfway point of your presentation. Now we should be getting into solutions. Please.
But if you think that these horror movies are scary,
not really.
Just wait for the sci-fi nightmares that are already coming with generative AI.
Oh, I knew it. Didn't I say AI earlier? I think I did, didn't I? I think I said AI earlier, didn't I? I think I'm pretty... I mean, I'm beginning to suspect that this talk was written with generative AI.
AI companies are building their AI models by scraping even the darkest corners of the internet.
If you say so.
And in doing so, they're feeding back to us the worst stereotypes of our past and flattening our imagination.
Well, now, we did have an Elmo incident earlier this week, so maybe. Also, guys, we have to avoid conspiracy theories coming to us from social media. Just so you know.
And to add insult to injury, they're taking our faces, our voices, and our stories without even having asked us to do so.
Yeah, there is and there has been and there will be a great debate over copyright and ownership of images and personalities and voices and such. Yeah, no, that is an open discussion. It's true. What do you propose be done?
Without the right to do so, and without compensation, not even for the hardworking journalists who risk their lives to tell those stories, or for the creatives that breathe life into our cultural landscape.
Again, that is a fair point. What does any of that have to do with democracy in Colombia? And what do you want to be done? Where does the inclusive storytelling come in as a salve for all of these wounds?
Quite frankly, AI is warping the truth.
What? AI is warping the truth? Dang it, AI! That's our job. That's the human job to do, because we warp the truth all the time. In ourselves, to others, in media, since the dawn of time. How dare you take away... Oh.
Just see this example of what happened recently in London when a deepfake audio of Mayor Sadiq Khan started to call for demonstrations.
Okay, I can't recall if I heard about this, but I'll take your word for it. Kiro Soldier, thank you so much. On a separate note, Stephen Colbert is now gone. Well, his show it's got one more year and then it's canceled or something. Yes, Late Night with Stephen Colbert is going off the air in the near future. A topic that'll probably come up on Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow. But the interesting thing is Stephen Colbert's show, whether you believe it or not, is, or has been for the last several years, the highest rated of the late night shows. Now, CBS says they're doing this because it's a purely financial decision. Some people are saying, conspiracy theory, that somehow getting rid of Colbert was part of a negotiation with Trump in the recent settlement that CBS and Skydance had to do with him because of some things that CBS did that were kind of naughty. However, it is probably more likely a drop in ad revenue for that show because of watched ads and a whole bunch of other financial things behind the scenes. Now, if that is the case, if it is so that it is a purely financial decision on how much money that show is actually bringing in, if you then take the fact that it is the highest rated or most watched late night show, and it can't survive, it can't justify itself financially, that means that every other late night show must also be experiencing, or will soon experience, a similar downfall. So could this be the Lehman Brothers of late night? If the King Colbert falls, is anyone safe? Time will tell. Anyway, that's an aside. That's more of my Midnight's Edge voice talking.
The demonstrations started to happen and assemble as the mayor of one of the most powerful cities in the world.
Yeah, I don't know how powerful London really is, but I mean, it's got more name recognition than a lot of cities. Sort of like New York. I don't know how powerful New York is as a city, but anyway. Holy cat! Estonia! Thank you so much. Holy cow. Although this would definitely violate the decorum that individuals of an audience should abide by, I really want to go to a TEDx talk and shout out Scribe Light rules at the 90-second mark of a presentation. Estonia. They would just cut it out. They would just cut it out. There would be a jump, and the person would pick up where they left off, and you would never be heard. Because TEDx is no stranger to manipulating the truth. But I appreciate the sentiment. I do not encourage you doing so, but that's nice. Kiro Soldier, Scribe Light, Jay Leno was vastly superior to anything late night today. That is sadly true. And of course, Johnny Carson and Letterman were far superior to any of them. Hell, I think, Conan O'Brien would probably still be doing pretty well over on The Late Show. Or sorry, The Tonight Show, pardon me. If they hadn't gotten rid of him. But I think he's done at TBS now. He has been for a couple of years. I think he's just doing podcasts now. I don't know. I haven't kept up with... I can't recall the last time I watched late night, an actual broadcast full show of a late night program. It's just clips on YouTube occasionally, mostly of Craig Ferguson from the days back when he had a show. Like, I don't even watch clips of the modern late night shows. I just like watching clips of Craig Ferguson from back in the day. Anyway, that's all on the side. What were you talking about of the 5 zillion things you brought up so far?
sat there completely powerless, not being able to stop it.
I don't even remember what he's talking about now. Let's back up a little bit.
Happen and assemble as the mayor
right.
of one of the most powerful cities in the world, sat there completely powerless, not being able to stop it. So the reality is that AI is taking away the very nuance and humanity of our shared story.
What? Okay. Adabisi, thank you so much. Was Norm Macdonald considered a late night host? No. No, he never was the front man for any of the established late night shows. He had his own talk show, but it was like very brief and off to the side, kind of almost podcasty kind of thing. But I mean, for the times that he did show up on like Conan or Letterman, he basically was the host. He was the show at that point. So that's what I'd say. And of course, if you just find those compilations of his Saturday Night Live news clips and things from back in the day, he could have been a great show host. He would have not made it on broadcast television, though. They would have not had him on there. He should have started a podcast thing years before he did. But yeah, R.I.P. Norm.
And so I have to ask you,
yes,
how can we belong in a world in which not even our voices, our faces, and our stories belong to us?
What are you talking? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. How can we? What can we do? Oh my gosh. Is this nothing but one long complaint? One long guilt trip? One long tantrum? I'm not getting my way. Wait. Okay, what do you want? What solution do you have? It's obviously not fashion sense. So is there something else?
Can we still leverage the power of storytelling to meet this moment in
I don't know. I'm losing it. I don't know. Do we? Can we?
history and imagine the world that we all deserve?
We all deserve. Okay, what do you deserve? Please tell me. What do you deserve? I mean, I know what I've earned, right? I know what I've earned. I know what I've signed that I'm supposed to be entitled to based on certain contracts and things. Whether or not I get those things in the future, I don't know. But tell me, what do you think you deserve?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so because even in a world dominated by AI and algorithms,
AI and algorithms.
the power of human imagination remains unmatched.
You know what? I want to agree with you. Tell me how.
And I know about the power of human imagination firsthand.
Really? Is it because you're a human and you have an imagination? Is that it? Or are we now? Is this going to move into your sales pitch for your own projects or your own artistic commune that you're a part of or something that needs some funding? Because obviously stories like yours don't receive any attention, as you said earlier.
Because I know that in a world that seems divided, storytelling is the glue that brings the pieces back together.
Okay, all the platitudes are getting real old. Give us something. Give us something, dare I say, substantive.
When the marriage equality movement started to leverage stories of LGBTQIA families, stories of us having children, caring for aging parents, celebrating milestones, they helped support a shift in public opinion that made marriage equality the law of the land in the United States.
Whoa, wait a second. I thought there were no stories being told like that. I thought there was no representation in media like that. I thought that there was some drastic and terrible underfunding of such things. Okay. So, you know the power of the human imagination to move the needle. Unfortunately, the needle's not being moved at all because no one is using their imagination to tell the stories that you like. Okay.
And on June 26, 2020, on
June 26, 2020. What happened on June? No, George Floyd was May of 2020, wasn't it? Am I off base there? June 26, 2020. Okay, what happened on June 26,
law of the land in the United States.
June 26, 2020.
And on June 26, 2020, on the 5th anniversary of that decision, on the steps of that very Supreme Court, I got the chance to marry my husband, Mitchell.
So what? You could have done it 5 years before. Well, I mean, maybe you didn't know him 5 years previous. Okay. So what? What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Woo. I'm happy for you and Mitchell. I don't necessarily endorse your. Mitchell seems to have your fashion sense when it comes to what to wear for a wedding, but you know, whatever works. You know, you could get a divorce tomorrow too. I mean, not that I'm cynical about, you know, the permanence of marriage, but I tell you, after that Coldplay video today, for those of you that don't know, look up Coldplay infidelity video. That combination of words will make sense. Anyway.
It was a story that I never thought would be possible.
Wow.
And so today, as opposed to what happened when I was growing up.
Wait, you never thought it would be possible even though the ability to do that very thing had been in existence for at least 5 years up to that point? Okay.
We have lots of stories of LGBTQIA people in politics.
We do, but you just said earlier that there was no representation in politics. I see people like myself in politics. I didn't see me represented in media.
Stories that remind us of how far we've come and how much more change is possible.
How much more change do you need? What are you asking for? What are you offering as a solution to those problems?
Stories such as those of Erica Hilton, the black trans congresswoman in
Well, you know, I'm at least glad you said his name first before you moved on to the irrelevant elements, but that's the important thing. Well, what are his policies? What are his positions? Oh, those are irrelevant. As long as you have these keywords checked off, that's a good thing.
Brazil, or Claudia Lopez, who just finished her term as the first woman and first lesbian mayor of Bogota, my hometown.
Wow. And again, none of those things tell me anything about the character or effectiveness of the individual. Goody for you. Okay. And on that note, at least in spirit, if not in specificity, I'm circling diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm also going to circle word salad. I know that's a little preemptive, but given how this guy has taken the backwoods Louisiana roadmap to whatever his point is, we have certainly been given quite the journey already on whatever he's talking about. And so the talk writ large is word salad as far as I'm concerned.
And so I may have not become a pop star or president yet.
I got my magic 8-ball over here. The signs point to no.
But I feel honored to dedicate my life to supporting storytellers and telling stories that actually allow us to free ourselves from the shackles of our past and help us imagine the future that we deserve.
I still don't know what you're talking about, and there's still 4 minutes to go in this presentation.
Earlier this year, I collaborated with the creators of a film called Igualada.
Sales pitch for product or service. Circling that one. Good gravy. And I'm going to circle the word privilege because he keeps talking about what he deserves, what he deserves, what he deserves. I know, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's my show.
It's a documentary about the rise of Francia Marquez as the first black female vice president of Colombia.
Again, identity politics. First black female this. First woman lesbian that. You got anything to say about the person and not the attributes?
It is a story about how she beat all odds, a story I never thought that actually would be possible.
Well, now that it is, does it give you more hope that the world has changed? Or are you still so cynical that everything's terrible like the first part of your talk seemed to imply?
And it is a story that reminds me of how much things have changed in Colombia.
Uh-huh.
It will also be a story.
Well, tell me, and I hate to take it back to the beginning, but how has the overall death rate, murder rate in Colombia been as compared to when you were a kid? I'm hoping it's far, far, far less. But I don't know. I would be curious to find out. I'm curious why he's not bringing that up yet. Maybe he will. One can hope.
Yeah. It will also be a story that serves as the inspiration for many more stories that are now possible because of hers.
Okay, if you say so.
I also had the honor of working and collaborating with the creators of a documentary called The Territory.
Okay, so the last 4 minutes are just going to be, here's my curriculum vitae and my portfolio of work that you can go out and watch and patronize.
A documentary about the Uruauau community in the Brazilian Amazon.
The Uruauau? Okay.
It is a film co-produced, co-edited, and co-shot with the members of that community.
Okay.
The film's impact campaign actually led to international regulations to curb deforestation and to the creation of a media center in the Amazon for the Uruauau to be able to monitor and protect their land.
Wait, you brought media to a remote people. You didn't bring them social media, did you? You know, because I've been told that social media is evil. I don't know.
It is a story that resonated deeply all around the world.
Must have missed my corner of it.
Because it is a story about the things that we all care about.
Oh, we all care about? What do we all care about?
It is a story about protecting our families.
Okay, fair enough.
Our homes.
Sure.
And our futures.
Yeah, I mean, if you put them in those kind of abstracts, sure.
That is the power of storytelling.
That is the power of storytelling. Okay, so as far as I can count, you brought up 2 examples of storytelling having positive outcomes. You talked about the, at least in the United States, the social shift in opinions on same-sex relationships such that it paved the way for same-sex marriage in this country. And now you've talked about a documentary series or project that you were personally involved with that had some changes that haven't been noticed or seen by 99% of the planet but are important to you. Great. What does this have to do with the girl that took her own life years ago? What does this have to do with the murder rate in Colombia? How is this going to solve democracy?
Stories help us understand one another. They help build networks of solidarity.
We know.
And they help drive collective action to see the change that we want to see in the world.
Maybe.
But perhaps most importantly, stories allow us to dream.
No, going to sleep allows me to dream. I don't know about you.
As Mahalia Jackson said to Martin Luther King Jr., tell them about the dream, the I Have a Dream speech became one of the most iconic and influential moments in civil rights history.
Okay, forgive my ignorance. I do not know who the person is he named before referencing Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't know what that means. And that's just me saying, I don't know. But him referencing it doesn't tell me anything.
A moment that reminds us of the power of the right story at the right time to paint a vision of possibility for millions in society.
Okay. I'm getting almost a little annoyed at the lack of clarity here, but also that right after talking about his personal project that he was working on, he references Dr. Martin Luther King as though he and King are somehow on the same level of storytelling or making change. Am I missing something?
So the question for us is, what is the right story? What is the right narrative for this moment in time?
I don't know. I don't know. Tell me. I've been waiting over 12 minutes plus all my ranting. What is it that you are offering?
I would venture to say that just as when I was a little kid in Bogota, Colombia, we are called to believe that the limitations of our past and our present do not define the possibilities of our future.
What? Yes, you've already said that. So what?
We can build the world that we deserve together.
The world that who deserves? What world are you talking about? A world where you feel comfortable all the time? A world where you never have to see or hear something that makes you feel uncomfortable or unhappy? Is that a world that I want to live in? Do I get a choice in this? What do you mean we? Just speak for yourself. You're talking about representation, and yet you say things as though you are the center of the universe.
But to build it, we must first imagine it.
I can imagine quite a bit. What are you talking about?
So let's invest in the narrative infrastructure that will tell the stories that haven't been heard for far too long.
Oh, what infrastructure is that? Please don't tell me it's AI and algorithms.
Let's actually produce the films and TV shows and digital media content and music that will represent the full diversity and the breadth of experiences and identities in society.
Okay. Have you been sleeping under a rock for the last 15 years? It sounds like you have. Or maybe you personally just missed out on the gravy train. I can't tell which.
And when we do so, let's tell movie theaters and streaming platforms and social media to make sure that we all get to see those stories.
Dude! It's just... Did he step out of a time machine or something?
While we're at it,
Yeah.
let's make sure that we change the story of technology.
Oh.
So that it is a story about technology as a force for good, with transparent algorithms that actually are designed to connect us, and with AI models that don't flatten our imagination, but actually unlock it.
Okay, guys, algorithms led to teen suicide. Algorithms led to January 6th. Algorithms led to the attempted coup in Brazil. But we can make good algorithms that'll do the right things. Just trust us, guys. Our algorithms are perfectly safe. Our algorithms will do nothing but good. Adebisi, thank you so much. He understands structures of speech. That's all. Well, yes. Thank you. All right. Contradicts own point. Fails to make argument. Circling that one. Let's see. Leaves out vital context over and over again through the course of this thing. Oh, wait. He's only got like a half a minute left, so let me finish this up. I'm jumping ahead. Sorry.
And most of all, let's reimagine the story of democracy. Let's write the new chapter in that story.
What is wrong with democracy that storytelling is going to fix? You still haven't told us.
by centering on the stories of joy and belonging and possibility that I know all of you wish that we had when we were growing up.
Speak for yourself. Your desired stories are not my desired stories. You know, you may be the center of the universe within that gigantic jacket, but you're not elsewise.
So that finally, the we in We the People actually means all of us.
Okay, there's a siren going off in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But there is, and now it's gone.
And hopefully, if we do that, one day, my children will be able to dream that they can be anything they want to be.
I can dream to be anything I want to be right now. There may be the simple matter of, you know, physical limitations of my athletic ability and or, you know, laws of thermodynamics, but... Yeah.
Even a pop star or president. Thank you.
Oh, that's some canned applause. Well, that was this. Look at this. Look at the bottom of the screen. Okay, they had some canned applause they started playing as it rose up as somebody turned up the knob. But look at the bottom of the screen and the silhouette of the hands moving.
My children will be able to dream that they can be anything they want to be, even a pop star or president.
Watch.
Thank you.
Look at those hands. That is such a golf clap. What was that? Okay. Oh my gosh. What an absolute mess of a talk. What an absolute mess. Good gravy. All right. Let me get the card up here. Wow. Wowie. Dogcat Fox, I don't want to steal your thunder. Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah, that is a pretty full card already. I got to shrink it down a little bit here to fit in the window. Let me, is that good enough? There we go, that works. Okay, guys, I'm going to go over the card one more time by myself. If you have an argument for a square to be circled, hold on to it. I will get to you momentarily. We got quite a few here. Let's see what we got. A list. You know what? With as many individual, disconnected, and varied complaints and subjects that he brought up over the course of this thing, I am going to make that a list because they were so individualized. They didn't lead anywhere, but I thought they might. So that is a circle for a square. And with that, if you can believe it.
Won't somebody please?
Bingo. B-I-N-G-O.
Okay!
Right?
Our first bingo. Moving on. Feminism. Nah, not that I recall. Attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase. I didn't hear any. I mean, said a storytelling can do this, but that didn't really sound like a snappy buzz phrase or something. Anecdote that probably never happened. Grandma calling them in every evening to check the body count in Bogota before dinner. I guess? Did he give us any anecdotes, really? That, aside from the girl that hurt herself? Jeez, I don't know. January 6th, Bogota, or the Brazil attempted coup. I don't know. I don't think I heard any anecdotes that sounded out beyond the beyond. You tell me. White supremacy, not so much. I mean, he focused on people's identity politics stuff, but didn't really get into that. Weightless example or non sequitur. Boy, howdy, let me count the ways. Over and over again. I mean, the most egregious one in my mind was the girl taking her own life. Like, what was that even for? Why did you bring that up? What did that have to do with anything? Collectivize his own demographic. Yes, because he was talking about being a queer man and all that stuff, and then also kept saying we, as though he was speaking for everybody. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No. I didn't hear anything that put him in a bad light. He was always on the right side of all things, so unless there's something else. Economic disparity. I mean, in a sense, because he kept complaining about how Completely incorrect, of course, but he was complaining about how certain stories weren't being given the platforms that they needed to, or funding and so on, in entertainment and social media and so on, etc. So I'll circle that one. Benevolent condescension, boy howdy. Also, guys, do you know I'm not getting enough money to tell the stories that I want to tell? Whatever. And lastly, microaggressions or unconscious bias. I'm sure an argument could be made. I don't think he ever brought up anything specific enough for my liking. So, with that, boy, guys, I think there's a couple of full stops here to getting a blackout, but there's definitely possibility for another bingo or two, depending on your argumentation. If you have an argument for a square to be circled, please put it in the chat. If I miss it, please just repost it. If you say you missed my argument, I am not going to scroll up. That is my punishment to you. You'll have to just repost. Scrolling up a little bit to start off for anybody who said anything beforehand. Advocast Diabli, Scribe Light. He listed off the people in the government who represented him, which also contradicted himself since he said there was no one who represented him. That's true. That is also true. Yeah, he double backed on himself a couple times there. Advocast again. If he is fighting the patriarchy, then it is feminism, since the only people interested in doing that are feminists. Simply mentioning patriarchy does not a mention of feminism make. If that were the case, I might as well just make it feminism/patriarchy in one square. It's two squares for a reason. These are two particular buzzwords that need to make themselves known independently of one another. So, nice try, but no cigar. And same to Shadowcat. He brought up the patriarchy a number of times. That's textbook feminism, even if it's interesting. Well, the numerous times was what? Like once? Twice? 3 times a lady? K. Roberts, no self-vilification. The world is his problem. It's true. It's true. A new story of us. Okay, I don't recall how many times he said that. Did he say that very often? I don't know. He whined like a feminist. Scribe. Well, probably boxed wine. But all the same. Bias, that the stories of marginalized people were not being told. I already circled marginalized. And that wouldn't be unconscious bias or a microaggression. That would be an outright bias. What if we say scroll up? Same difference. Same difference. Bridget. I would like to nominate a WTF for his reference to the Pizzagate conspiracy, a decade-old, long-forgotten conspiracy. You know, that was a little off. I don't know if it's a WTF moment. It'd definitely be a non sequitur. But I don't think it was a WTF. I think it was just a bad example. A weak example. There's a lot of things you could have brought up. But let's see. He did sound like a gay feminist to me. I don't know. January 6th was a white supremacy movement. Oh, but everybody's reaching here. Everybody's reaching. I need a specific example of these things being done. Okay, so far, the only thing that I'm hearing is attempt to coin new buzzword buzz phrase, a story of us. A story of us. I honestly, and I'm being honest, I do not recall how many times he used that phrase. But I'm being told that it was several times. Frosted Glass, anecdote that never happened. Him getting that much applause at the end, that was so added in post. Well, I mean, I'll grant you that, but that wasn't part of his presentation. I'm trying to be specific here. It has to be something that he does or says in the course of his presentation. He never gave us an anecdote that was 100% unbelievable, because everything he gave us was some kind of news story or recorded event or something. That bingo card is too green not to have extra bingos. This is why it comes down sometimes to which bingo card is picked for the show. That's the risk. We could have had like 7 different bingos now if it was a different card. But So the only viable argument I've seen so far maybe is the new buzzword buzz phrase, a news story of us, if that is true. Is that the argument? Advocatus, anecdote that never happened, that anyone in his life led him to believe he was good enough for the Backstreet Boys. Okay. He framed that when he was a small child. It's difficult for me to fault a small child version of himself thinking that he could be a Backstreet Boy or an astronaut or whatever. No. Sorry. I know. I'm giving for as many things as I've circled for this guy's presentation and all the all that I've dumped on him for how he did it. Some things I'm at least going to extend the benefit of the doubt. Daryl Odell, y'all are too greedy. You only need one bingo. Yeah, but everybody wants tons more, wants to get them, and everybody wants to black out the card. Adebisi's addicted. Adebisi needs bingos put into his veins. Scarlet Buzzword, I agree with the story one. He wouldn't shut up about needing new stories. Okay, on the basis that he kept saying the same general phrase, if not simply a new story of us, or we need stories to change democracy, he kept reiterating that same thing over and over again, without any payoff, I might add, without any actual payoff, but he was pushing that theme, if not those exact words, over and over and over and over again. Especially to reimagine democracy and so on. So I will capitulate slightly that he was definitely making an attempt. I don't think he was very successful in it, but the square doesn't say successful use of buzzword or buzz phrase. It's an attempt. So, with that being said...
Bingo! What? Bingo! Yeah!
Of course! Of course! Bingo.
What?
Of course!
Double bingo with that square. So we got 1, 2, 3, 3. 3 bingos, everybody. That's pretty good. And a whole lot of other squares circled elsewise. Holy cats. Yeah, if it was a different bingo card, who knows what the outcome would be. But there you go. That is the risk you have. And this is why it's important to take part in the bingo poll. Who knows what would have happened if a couple extra votes had went a different way on the bingo poll on X earlier today. But that is the talk. Let's take a look at the... can I show this on the screen? Let me see here. Show comments on stage. Yeah, okay. I want to wait for the comments to come up on the stage before I pop up the poll here. Because if you don't know, last call for adding on to the poll regarding on-air advertising. I was given some option by YouTube the other week because I'm like a tenured partner at this point. I'm now in my 8th, almost total 9th year on YouTube. And they gave me some extra option for monetizing my content. And I almost never do, or I forget to. That's why you almost never see ads on these things when I'm doing them. And if you do see them, it might be after they're done, but oftentimes not then. So I don't know if I can actually make ad money off of YouTube. Never really have before. But let's see. Does this pop up on the chat if I bring it up here? Probably not. I don't know if it does that. Anyway, what do we have on the poll so far? Ads during live broadcast. 44 votes. 34% say yes. 66% say no. All right. Well, then I'll tell you what I'll do. I will only monetize after a broadcast has completed, as to not interrupt anybody's fun while we were doing it live. That's kind of how I've been before, but I just thought I'd ask, just to make sure. And Keeverdam is a good American. She voted at least 3 times using a couple of sock puppet accounts. There you go, everybody. Frostglass, you did not miss my argument. You're right. I didn't miss it at all. Anyway, everybody, that is the show for this evening. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's see. Programming note. Yes. For those of you who look forward to seeing me on Midnight's Edge in the morning on Fridays or elsewise, I will not be present on the panel tomorrow morning. I have another dentist appointment tomorrow morning, just like I had this morning. And that dentist appointment will take me right square into Midnight's Edge time, so I will miss the show tomorrow. My apologies have been extended to the rest of the panelists on the show. And I'll be hopefully back on Monday to talk about entertainment stuff. And it's kind of sad, too, because a whole bunch of stuff just happened today. We had a preview for Mortal Kombat. We had a preview for Tron Ares. We had what's happening with Stephen Colbert. What else was there going on? Oh, my gosh. I sent a whole bunch of stuff over to the chat just to make up for the fact that I wasn't going to be there. Oh, yeah. Taika Waititi is apparently going to direct the next Judge Dredd movie, which is just a disaster waiting to happen. Ugh. Just yuck. Just yuck, guys. Actually, I cooked up something. Well, I didn't cook up something. I used the evil AI. Guys, I used the evil AI to cook up something as a joke for what the Taika Waititi Judge Dredd would look like. Would you guys like to see that? I knew you would. Well, let me bring it up here real quick. I gotta bring it up as an overlay because, stuff. Where is it here? Make sure I get the right photo. There we go. Okay. So, guys, this is a sneak preview of Taika Waititi's Judge Dredd. There you go, guys. This is my prediction. This is my psychic powers at work. Pedro Pascal is Judge Dredd. That's my guess. I could be mistaken. I don't think I will be. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Did you know, before I forget, because I could have forgotten, did you know that I have a Discord server? Would you like to join the Discord server? Well, all you have to do to join the Discord server is click on the link now in the chat box. Click on that link, you'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you're not a bot. You're not an algorithm. You're not AI. And have thus watched the show and have earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is storytelling. Just say hello, storytelling, and I'll know that you watched the show. Outside of that, you can find me again, usually at Midnight's Edge in the morning. You should go watch the show anyway, even if I'm not there. It'll be at 9:05 a.m. Pacific Time, noon 05 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll talk about all the crazy stuff going on in entertainment in the last 24 hours. A lot of stuff has happened. And if that interests you, then it might interest you. I'll be here Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for Dog, Cat, Fox, and Friend. I'm the friend, and he's Dog, Cat, Fox. Wowie, wow, wow. And we'll talk about other news stories of the week that you may have missed. Or maybe you didn't miss them. But you'll hear me talk about them, because that's just what I do. And, of course, you can find me here again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for TEDXcellence, where I'll go over another off-brand TED Talk that may or may not include the word inclusion. Include the word inclusion. It's starting to hit my brain. It's becoming a worm. It's like include the word inclusion. Include the word inclusion. El Camino, El Camino, El Camino, El Camino. Otherwise, everyone, thank you for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or to the GoFundMe pinned to the top of the chat box for our friend Angela Arriaga. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. It's very much appreciated. Kieverdam also, throughout the course of the show, also posted the link to my merch store. I keep forgetting that I have that thing. If you'd like a Pepperjack t-shirt or a TEDXcellence coffee mug or just a Scribe-like coffee mug, I think I still have the Got It COVID masks on there, which is kind of a bad idea of a branding thing to do at the time, but I thought it was funny. Anyway, you can find that all at the store. And Kieverdam has posted a link again. Thank you, Kieverdam. Everyone, thank you for joining me. Hope you all have a good rest of your Thursday. Hope your Friday is a good one as well. And hope you have a safe and fun weekend. And I hope as well that you're safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.